Hi everyone, in today's course I'll be taking you through the task 1 of the IELTS speaking test. This test is a face-to-face interaction between two people, the examiner and the candidate. It has 3 parts, which are the general daily topics, long turn, and a two-way discussion. It is the first skill to be tested on and the only test the candidates will take in a day. This test takes between 11 to 14 minutes and there is only one speaking test for all candidates, including the academic and the general candidates. If you are doing the computer-based IELTS, you will still have a face-to-face interview with the examiner. The IELTS speaking test is an informal but recorded test where the examiner controls the length and time of your answers. The role of an examiner is to ask these candidates questions on the 3 parts of the IELTS speaking test, and the candidate is to start answering the questions immediately. However, the examiner starts with a greeting, intro questions, and checking your ID. Now, you walk into the speaking examination room and you greet the examiner. Before the part 1 begins, you will need to do an ID check. In this part, there are 4 questions which is called the intro questions, and I'm going to discuss these questions and some tips on how to confidently answer them. First of all, the examiner will introduce him or herself and tell you their name, then ask you the first intro questions. Now, the first intro question is, what is your full name? For example, he or she will say, "Good morning, my name is Grace. What's your full name?" You need to answer by returning the greeting with his or her name or not, and then you will say your name. For instance, you can answer, "Hi, morning Grace. My name is," you have to, if you want to say the first name, you don't have to put Miss or Mrs. because you don't know if the examiner is married or not. So you must answer with your first name first. Then, if you have a middle name, it should come second and your last name last. But if you don't have a middle name, you can say your first name first and last name. By now, you should know that your first name is the name you are being called by everyone, while your last name is your father's name. For instance, my first name is Rashidat. I have a middle name, which is Olufonke, and my father's name is Yusuf. So, if I am to answer that question, I will say, my name is Rashidat Olufonke Yusuf. Now, moving on to the second intro question. The second question is, how may I address you? This is the name you want the examiner to call you throughout your speaking test. It can be your first name or even a pet name, any name whatsoever you would like to be called during the speaking test. You could say, "You can call me Rashidat." The third intro question is, may I see your ID? This time, the examiner is asking to view your ID, which is your international passport. And here we have the last question, which may or may not be asked. Where do you come from? Or they may say, could you please tell me where you come from? You have to tell the examiner where you come from, and it is not just the name of your street. It is good to add a little bit more information, though it is not that the examiner will come visit you or anything. It is just to know if you are able to answer correctly. For example, I come from Abogejo Compound, area of Irepodo Local Government, Kwara State, Nigeria. So now, moving on to the 3 parts of the speaking test. We have the task 1, which is the general daily topics. Firstly, the candidates and examiner introduces themselves. Then, the examiner will ask you about familiar topics like daily activities about yourself, for example, your homes, your hobbies, family, job, status, and so on and so forth. They can ask you about your life and your country. This part will help you feel comfortable. So try as much as possible to relax yourself so that you can speak naturally. This part of the test lasts for 4 to 5 minutes. And here are some of the list of questions you should expect. Work, study, hometown, home, clothes, food, leisure time, pets, newspaper, so on and so forth. Now, these very first four questions are common in IELTS speaking part 1. So you should practice answering them because you are likely to get one or two of them for your first topic: the work, study, hometown, and home. Now, if you want to answer any of these questions, because you are likely to come across this type of questions in your IELTS. So if you are asked all these questions, I will tell you how to answer these questions, or I'll answer the questions. I'll ask myself the questions and answer them. Now, what do you do? For the past few months, I've been working for A.O.S Daily News as a news editor. This is my first job ever, and I'm working hard to contribute to the success of this prestigious newspaper. What are your responsibilities? As a part time editor, I am responsible for editing news related to current affairs as well as collecting information for the newspaper edition. The third question: why did you choose to do that type of work, or probably that job? Well, I guess it's mainly because of job flexibility and my passion for journalism. To be more specific, this job is unlike the 9 to 5 work schedule, enabling me to find a better balance between work and life. Besides, this job gives me opportunity to pursue my dream to become a journalist. The next question, which is the fourth one, is there some other kind of work you would rather do? At present, I don't think I'm able to dedicate myself to any other job. It's the experiences and opportunities I can gain that matters to me. The next one is describe the company or organization you work for. The A.O.S Daily News is a Nigerian daily newspaper which offers free access both to current news and an archive of 3 million stories. In July 2016, Media Week reported that the A.O.S Daily News was the fifth most popular newspaper site in the world. I believe that the A.O.S Daily News is the inspirational workplace for all people who dream of becoming a journalist. The next question is: do you enjoy your work? Of course, I do. Most of the time, contributing to the news production for a world class newspaper gives me a sense of satisfaction and pride. Now, the next question is: what do you like or dislike about your job? Well, the perk of being a news editor is that you surround yourself with exciting news daily. What I don't like about this job is that I have to do a thousand edits to get to the final one that meets the requirements of my boss. Sometimes I feel a bit overloaded with tons of tasks. And the last question is: do you miss being a student? I missed student life once I got involved in the workplace. I think when I was a student, I had someone to guide me, whereas at work, you must guide yourself. The academic environment was a comfort zone, and I struggled to fit in the working environment. Now, another question is study. I'm going to answer all these questions in the study aspect too. Now, so the first one is: what do you study? I am currently studying computer science at University of Lagos. Where do you study that? As earlier said, I studied at University of Lagos, located in Lagos State, Nigeria. Why did you choose that subject? I chose this subject because it aligns with my interests and passions and offers a promising career path. I am particularly interested in software engineering. The fourth question is it a popular subject in your country? Yes, it is a popular subject in my country. Many students are attracted to it because it offers great opportunities for true creativity and innovativeness. The next question is: do you like that subject? Of course, I do. I absolutely love studying computer science. I find it challenging and rewarding at the same time. Do you get on with your colleagues? Yes, I get along very well with my classmates and colleagues. We support and encourage each other in our studies. What was your first day like? My first day was a bit nerve wracking but also exciting. I met a lot of new people and was introduced to the subject matter. It was a great start to my academic journey. The next question is, what are the main aspects of your subject? The main aspects of my subject is problem solving. This area have helped me gain a deeper understanding of the subject. The next question is, if you had the chance, would you change subject? No, I wouldn't change my subject. I am very satisfied with my choice and I am confident that it will lead to a successful career. The last question is, do you plan to get a job in the same field as your subject? Yes, I plan to find employment in the field related to my subject. I am eager to use my skills and knowledge to make a positive impact in my career. So that's it. Is IELTS is not a rigid exam. So you just need to relax and feel comfortable if you want to answer this IELTS task one very well and very correctly. Now, these are some other questions, list of questions. We have the hometown. They will ask you where is your hometown. You have to tell them where your hometown is and remember to add some little bits of information. Okay, so do you like your hometown? You tell us if you like your hometown and you add the reason why you like your hometown. Do you often visit your hometown? You tell us if you often visit your hometown and why you go there often. And if you don't visit it often, you tell us why not. What is your hometown like? What is the oldest place in your hometown? What is there for a foreigner to do or see in your hometown? How could your hometown be improved? Has your hometown changed much since you were a child? Is there good public transportation in your hometown? Do you think your hometown is a good place to bring up children? So you have to tell us if all these things is true and why are they true. The last one is your home. They'll ask you about your home too. Where is your home? Do you live in a house or a flat? Who do you live with? Are there many rooms in your home? What is your favorite room? How are the walls decorated? What would you change about your home? Do you plan to live there in the future? What facilities are there near your home? What is your neighborhood like? Do most people live in houses in your country? So we also have some other common topics which you are likely to come across on the IELTS speaking day. They may ask you about your childhood, your clothes. They may ask you about cooking. So let's take a look at this common topic, which is cooking. It is a common topic to get in part 1 too. Now let's take a look at these questions on the screen more closely. Each question begins with a different question word, and this is very important to understand about speaking part 1 because every topic that you get in speaking part 1 can have questions that starts with this question words. So let's start with the first example. How often do you cook? This is looking at frequency, that is the number of times you cook weekly or monthly. Who usually does the cooking? This is a person. It can be anybody, so either you or someone else in your family. Another thing is, where did you learn to cook? This is the place you learn to cook. Did you learn to cook in a school? Did you learn to cook in your home, or did you take a course on cooking? When did you learn to cook? This is the this is for a time, and for this you need to give a date. For instance, you can say when I was a child or maybe 5 years ago. So how long have you been cooking? This is about the length of time you have been cooking. So you could say I've been cooking for the past 2 years, and that means, or you can say I've been cooking for about 2 years, and this means I started cooking 2 years ago. So these question words are very important, and you need to listen out for them in the parts 1 test so that you can give the right information in your answer. There are some more questions words that are very common in the part 1. So you can see them here. One is can you question. It's very common to get this for any topic. Can you cook? Can you swim? Can you dance? Can you eat? And so on and so forth. You need to answer yes, I can, or no, I can't, and add some more information. We also have do you like? This is what you enjoy. It could be also do you dislike. So listen out for that. Another one is what's your favorite? This is another very common question. What's your favorite drink? What's your favorite clothes? What's your favorite magazine? It could be any question like this, and again, you need to express the drink that you love most. The next one is do you prefer eating at home or do you prefer eating out? You need to choose one and explain your preference. We've also got usually so this is about your common habits. What do you do frequently? So do you usually do the dishes? And you need to answer yes or no, and again add more information. Next one is do you ever? This is in the present tense, so this is now. Do you ever eat outside? You need to say yes or no and then explain why or give more example. And the next one is have you ever? And with this question, this is actually a past tense question. So that means we are looking at what you have done in the past. So, have you ever eaten any food from a foreign country? You can say yes, and you can explain when or what kind of food it was. So again, a question you can get in almost any topic is did anyone ever give you flour when you were a child? Now, it is important that you pay attention to this question because it is a clear past tense question about your childhood, and this is testing your past tense grammar. So it is very important that you listen for the tense in the question because this is a language test. So if you don't give a past tense answer, there might be a problem. And I need you to remember that speaking part 1 is mostly about yourself. What do you like? What do you prefer? Can you? When do you? What do you? It's mostly about yourself, but you can also get questions about people in your country and about people in general. So here is a question on that. Why do some people dislike going out? Now, please, if you get a question like this, don't talk about yourself. This is about other people. So with this question, you need to explain why there are people who don't like going out. Okay? So now we have some tips and advice on how to answer the IELTS task 1, the speaking task 1 rather. Number 1 is don't limit your answers to only 2 sentences. Now, avoid saying yes or no, and don't limit your answers to only 2 sentences. You should definitely avoid giving one word answers, and as it will display a lack of confidence. Since confidence is one of the key factors considered during the test, avoid giving one word or short answers. It is essential to remain calm so that you will be able to give elaborate replies. Another thing is you have to be more natural with your answer. You have to speak as if you are speaking your native language. Another thing is if you have more information to give, then give it. Give all the information you have to give. Give it. Another thing is speaking part 1 is 4 to 5 minutes in length for 12 questions. So if your fluency is strong, you'll be able to give longer answers. If you often hesitate when you answer, then you waste your time and your answers will need to be shorter. So you need to So you need to show interest in the questions. Even if you are unsure about the questions posed to you by the questioner, show interest towards it and try to answer it by talking about your experiences related to the subject at any point during the test. Don't pause for too long or hesitate in answering. That will only make you more nervous and will display a lack of confidence. The next one is, if you have strong fluency, don't limit your answers to only two sentences. I think I've said that earlier. So, to get a high score in fluency, you must show you are able to speak at length without much effort. And the last one is speaking with confidence. The key to scoring a high band in the speaking test is by speaking with confidence. As soon as you begin the test, relax and try to not treat it as a test but as a conversational with a good friend, right? So, thank you for going through the task one parts with me. You can email us on our ftc@aosacademy.com if you have any question, or admin@aosacademy.com, and you can go on our website at www.aosacademy.com and www.ftcAOSacademy.com. See you next time. Bye.